Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to day 4 of my 30 favorite albums of my high school years. Of course, you know that that's 1980 to 1984 for moi. You guys will all be different. So this, again, is one of those kind of play-along shows. So each and every day, everybody watching and myself, we're going to look back at the 4 years we went to high school, or the last 4 years of your, schooling before college or university, right before you graduate. I know in different parts of the world there's not actually a high school thing, but here in the States, that is a thing, right? So 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, the last 4 years of high school. Everybody's going to take a look at those 4 years and think back to the 30 most played albums that were on your constant rotation back then. Your 30 favorite albums from when you were that age. For some of you, it might be real recently. For others, like myself, it was a long time ago. And I know other people in the comments, it's even longer for them. So go back in time. And again, these albums don't have to have been released in those 4 years. But these are the ones that you played the most, your favorite albums from that very informative, very influential period in your life. Because as many people know, those albums that we kind of grew up with during that period in our lives usually kind of stay really close to home with us the rest of our lives and are very important to the music we listen to throughout the rest of our lives, right? So today I'm going to take a look at an album that was released in 1983. This was a debut album from pretty much a supergroup at the time. I love this album. I listen to it all the time, and this was a band comprised of some dudes that who came from bands that I really liked a lot. Now, initially, this band was formed by two guys. And that's the reason for the name is part of one name, part of another. But then the one guy never made it to the album. At least we don't think. But he basically left the band before they actually came out with the album. Whether or not his bass playing is on the album or not, don't really know. It's been said yes and it's been said no. The band is Fastway. The debut album, self-titled debut from 1983, of course. Fastway comprised of Fast Eddie Clarke from Motorhead and Pete Way from UFO. By the time the album comes out, there's no Pete Way. He goes on to join Ozzy's band for a brief bit, then, forms Wasted, back to UFO. I mean, the whole Pete Way story is a little crazy because he's been kind of all over the place. But it's a real shame that he never got to really be in this band. Of course, Fast Eddie Clarke on guitars. I think he played bass on this album. Dave King, young vocalist at the time, on lead vocals, tremendous singer. And Jerry Shirley, of course, from the great Humble Pie, on drums. There they are right there. And it's interesting to note that this album, not at all like where Fast Eddie just came from. This is not an album like Motorhead at all. Ironically, the music on this album is much similar to Jerry Shirley's old band, Humble Pie. Really strong, bluesy hard rock. It's definitely a throwback to, there's an 80s feel to it a little bit, but for the most part, this is a very bluesy, hard rock album that, again, reminds us of some of those great albums. They're not all that different from UFO, actually, but like I said, Humble Pie as well. And other bands like that, just good meaty blues rock riffs. Dave King, tremendous bluesy singer. He's got this kind of like higher pitch vocal style, and then you've got the serious bottom end from Jerry Shirley. Just a great album, great band, great songwriting on this. So many great songs. I mean, Easy Livin' was the big original first single. Feel Me, Touch Me, Anything You Want. All I Need Is Your Love. Another Day, tremendous song. Heft, probably the heaviest song on the album. Dark. We Become One. What a snarling riff on that. Man, We Become One. Terrific song. One of my favorites on here. Give It All You Got. There's a lot of boogie on here as well. Kind of like Foghat, Status Quo, that sort of thing. Say What You Will is the other kind of hit from this album. Tremendous song with a great guitar lick. You Got Me Running. More good hard-charging boogie. Give It Some Action. And Far From Home is the bonus track on the CD. I don't recall if that was on the original LP or cassette. I don't think so, but I could be wrong. It's been a long time. But yeah, this was one of those albums that when it first came out, everybody was all excited about it, and I think we all kind of thought it was going to be a little different than it was, but we liked the difference here. we really liked how this album came out, and we used to talk about this album in the lunchroom, in breaks, fast way, fast way, fast way, and then they came around and they opened up for, I believe it was Iron Maiden, the first on the tour for the first album. I believe it was Iron Maiden. Got to see them at Poughkeepsie, New York, at the Mid-Hudson Civic Center, opening up for Maiden. Almost positive that it was on the Peace of Mind tour, if I remember correctly. And just thinking, how cool were they? And I believe that on bass for that tour, I think, might have been either Alfie Aguas or Charlie McCracken. I don't remember exactly who was on bass. One of those two dudes. But I just remember thinking, they had a lot of swagger up there on stage because Dave King, full of piss and vinegar, really, really great singer. Unfortunately, didn't stay with the band for too long. By the mid-late 80s, he was already moving on to other things. And, this band existed in various combinations throughout the years. And unfortunately, we lost Fast Eddie not all that long ago. Hard to believe that all three of the classic members of Motorhead are gone, right? It's crazy. But, but such a great album. Brings back such memories. I listen to it. It still sounds fresh today. Even though this is an album that's 40 years old, basically, and kind of plays in a style that's even older than that. You listen to it today, and it sounds, the riffs and the melodies, and it just really still resonates really well. It holds up really, really well. And again, this coming from a guy in Motorhead who, played a totally different style of music. So this was just a complete about-face, but it really, really worked. So, that is my pick for today. The self-titled debut from Fastway. Still play it quite a bit. Listen to it a ton back in the day. And, it's really funny because this type of music, this kind of like bluesy hard rock, I think I got into more as time went on. At the time, I really wasn't listening to a lot of this style of music. So like Humble Pie and, the Faces and the Stones and, Cactus and, all those bands. I really wasn't listening to a lot of that back in the day. I started listening to that more later on, even though I was listening to like UFO and Nazareth and Purple and all those other bands. But it was more of the kind of the bluesier bands. I didn't really get into it till a little bit later. So at the time, it was more just like metal. The early 80s for me was just all about metal, a touch of prog and some other type of stuff. But so Fastway, self-titled debut, 1983. That is my pick for today. Day 4, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, this is day 4. It is Sunday. So, the drill. Everybody down below. If you got any comments on the Fastway album, leave them down there. Otherwise, also list your pick for today, day 4, of another one of your 30 favorite albums from your high school years, whatever the years that might be. And this is on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube all together all the damn time. I think I'm going to write a song about that. No, I'm not. Also, make sure you hit that like button. Very, very important for the YouTube algorithm to make sure we reach the highest number of people we possibly can. YouTube takes very closely look at comments and likes on videos, and the videos that have the most likes and comments, they shoot out to all sorts of other people so you see them in your recommendations. That's how it works, right? It's pretty simple, actually. Also, down below, we've got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations, as well as our merch page, where you can get all sorts of cool Sea of Tranquility stuff. And also, our some, if not all, of our shirts are available on Amazon now. Go figure. So if you go to the merch page link below, you'll also see a link where you can go and order those on Amazon if you like. I think there's some kind of special going on, so you can take advantage of that. So go investigate that down below, and we'll see you back tomorrow with another one of these, right? Pick number 5 coming up tomorrow morning. Stay tuned. Also this morning, you've got Ranking the Album Show. Myself and Chris Allo, the king himself, will be ranking the catalog of Venom. So stay tuned for that and a lot more here on the channel. Don't forget, tomorrow, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Monday night. There'll be no Hudson Valley Squares tomorrow because it is a holiday here in the States. So I gave everybody the night off, and I will be back doing a Q&A show where we're going to be talking about, I'm going to be talking a bit about SOT Fall Fest, which is coming up in just a couple of weeks. So we'll be doing a little bit of that and answering your questions and talking about other topics. So that's coming up 8 p.m. tomorrow. Roughly, we'll be doing like a 60 or 90-minute show. So stay tuned for that. And we'll see you all then, right? Take care. I'm Pete Pardo. Bye-bye.